Hello and welcome to my channel Be Unique Studies. So today we are going to understand the first lesson of Science Part 1 Class 10 Maharashtra State Board, which is gravitation. So let's start. Can you recall what are the effects of force acting on an object? So the force can change the shape, size, direction of an object, and also it can bring an object in motion to stationary and also a stationary object into motion. What type of forces are you familiar with? We are familiar with many forces till now. It may be the frictional force or electrostatic force, moreover gravitational force, and etc. What do you know about the gravitational force? We know that the gravitational force is a universal force which not only acts between any two objects on the earth but between any two objects in the universe. Now let's see how this force was discovered. Gravitational force is a universal force, means wherever you go in the universe this force will be always there. Now let's study how this force was discovered. This force was discovered by Sir Isaac Newton. So now let's understand how he discovered it. One day he was sitting under a tree and an apple fell on his head. So he wondered why that all apples fall down, why they fall on the ground only, why don't they fly, or why they fall down, why they can fall, they can move like this also, they can move upwards also, but still why they come down, what is the reason behind that? So he thought, and after much thought he came to a conclusion that these apples must be attracted by the earth. This earth, our earth attracts those apples towards itself with some force. If attraction is there, obviously some force will be needed to attract those apples with some force, and that force is there. No, it is directed towards the center of the earth. Directed means the direction of the force is towards the center of the earth. You take any object, it will try to go towards the center of the earth because of this force of attraction. Also Newton thought that this force acts on apples on the trees, means it can act on trees also. It acts on everything present on the earth, but can this force act on the planets and the sun in the solar system, or the stars, the moons? And the answer is yes, this can act. Now force and motion, we have seen that a force is necessary to change the speed as well as direction of the motion. Yeah, we know that with the help of force we can change the speed as well as direction of an object which is in motion. Take an example of riding a bike or car or cycle, something like that. When we apply force we can change the direction as well as we can change the speed, right? Now what are Newton's laws of motion? Do you remember? Newton had given 3 laws of motion. First law is that every object continues to be at rest or move in a straight line in uniform motion until an external imbalance force acts on it. And Newton's second law is that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force, and the momentum is in the direction of applied force. And Newton's third law is that every object has an equal and opposite reaction which acts simultaneously. Simultaneously means at the same time. So now introduction to scientists. Now this great scientist was Sir Isaac Newton who did this. He was the greatest scientist of recent time. He was born in England and he gave his laws of motions, laws of motion, equations of motion and theory of gravity in his book Principia. And before this book was written, you will come to know about Kepler in the further. Kepler had given some laws which describe planetary motions. Planetary motion means the motion of planets. He found some certain criteria through which motion of planets can be described. But reasons why Kepler said planets move in this only direction, this particular way, that were not understood to everyone, and he can't prove that. But Newton mathematically derived Kepler's law. Along with this, Newton was a great scientist, and anywhere you go you will see Newton. Means he worked in light as well as heat, sound and mathematics. Even he invented a new branch of mathematics called calculus, which has a wide ranging applications in physics and mathematics. You may be knowing that Galileo was the first scientist to construct a refracting telescope. On the other hand, Newton was the first scientist to construct a reflecting telescope. Now let's move further. Circular motion and centripetal force. Circular motion. Now here an activity is given, like this activity is there. We have to take a stone like this and tie it through a thread and move it round and round like this. So what will happen? The stone will move in the move in round direction, and then leave the thread from your hand. Then what will happen? Stone will move. But how stone will move? Stone will move in a tangential direction to the circle, which to this circle. Tangent is a line which touches only at one point to the circle. So this moves like this, and tangent means what? Suppose this is the radius, no? So tangent is perpendicular to the radius at point of contact. So it will move like this in this perpendicular direction. If stone is left from here, it will move like this. So, but now what we understood from this activity, that a force is continuously acting on an object moving in circular direction, right? Now this force has some name, and what's the name of that force? Its name is centripetal force. Centripetal force matlab center seeking force. Center seeking matlab in this force the object tries to go towards the center of the circle because of this force. Now for an example, if you take key or keychain and start रोटेटिंग इट अराउंड यू अराउंड आवर फिंगर, अगर हम उसे घुमाने लगे हमारे उंगली में, तो राइट द की ट्राइज टू कम टूवर्ड्स द सेंटर, इट ट्राइज टू कम टूवर्ड्स द फिंगर. हमने बहुत बार एक्सपीरियंस भी किया होगा, राइट? दैट इज द सेंट्रीपिटल फोर्स. नाउ a definition is also given. Centripetal force is a force which acts on object moving in the circle, and because of this force object tries to go towards the center of the circle. Now let's take examples of centripetal force. Now here some examples are given, like first example, moon, our natural satellite which moves around the earth. This is the moon, and this moves around the earth. It revolves around the earth in an orbit in a fixed manner. Now centripetal force acts on this moon also, so only it moves like this in this circular direction. Otherwise it may have fallen on earth much earlier, right? And second is our solar system. In this also around sun all the planets revolve, right? Now let's talk about Kepler's law. In earlier times, no, like how now अब कितना development हो गया है, right? Machineries are developed, we have telescopes, even we have high technology telescopes, right? High technology machineries है हमारे पास, computers, we have, everything is developed now. So now it is easy to observe the space, right? We can easily find information about something, okay? But in that times it was not possible. In that time, no, people had to observe, means like, you know, people had to observe the position of the planet, or it may be the sun, with eyes, naked eyes, before discovery of telescope by Galileo. But by 16th century a lot of data was available about that planetary positions and motion, and Kepler was a scientist who studied this data, and he gave some laws. He studied that data and he found that, what did he found? All the planets obey certain laws. And because of that laws only, planets move in some particular direction. He noticed that and he gave name to that laws as Kepler's laws. And these three laws are there given by Kepler. Now Kepler's first law is that orbit of a planet is an ellipse with the sun at one of the foci. Means suppose planet, here planet is given, this is a planet, right? Planet A name is given, and its orbit, you know, orbit of planets. So orbit of most of the planets is elliptical in shape, like this it is there. Oval नहीं कह सकते, it is ellipse. Okay, so ellipse. And you know, in case of circle, if we draw a circle, no, circle has only one center. So in case of ellipse has two centers, one is here and one is somewhere here. सो टू देर आर टू सेंटर्स. सो ये प्लैनेट जो है ना, it is having an elliptical orbit with the sun. It has an elliptical orbit and sun is located at one of the foci. sun एक center point पे locate करता है इस orbit में. 2 points होते हैं ना, उसमें से कौन से भी एक point पे. Now Kepler's second law. The line joining the sun and the planet sweeps equal area in equal intervals of time. Means what? Here some triangles are drawn. See, this one is there, then this one is there, and this one is there. So what do you think? उनकी एरिया के सेम होगी? डू दे हैव सेम एरियाज? देखने पे तो लगता है कि नो, दे मे नॉट बी हैविंग, बट द आंसर इज यस, देयर एरिया इज सेम. मीन्स व्हाट? जब प्लैनेट यहाँ से यहाँ ट्रैवल करता है ना, व्हेन ही प्लैनेट रिवॉल्व्स अराउंड द सन, सो इट स्वीप्स इक्वल एरिया इन इक्वल इंटरवल्स ऑफ टाइम. मतलब ये एरिया ट्रैवल करने में जितना टाइम लगा है ना, उतना ही टाइम ये डी सी ट्रैवल करने में लगा है, उतना टाइम ई एफ ट्रैवल करने में लगा है. और यही जो लाइन जॉइनिंग द सन एंड द प्लैनेट, देखो यहाँ से यहाँ तक लाइन और यहाँ पे एंड किया, यहाँ से यहाँ तक लाइन. ये जो लाइन जॉइन करते हैं ना सन, अब सपोज प्लैनेट टी टाइम लगा यहाँ से यहाँ ट्रैवल करने में ए टू बी. सो जब प्लैनेट को टी ही टाइम लगेगा डी से सी से डी तक ट्रैवल करने के लिए, और ये सी पॉइंट पे स्टार्ट किया है ना, तो सी से सन को लाइन जॉइन करेंगे और एंड किया डी से तो डी को. Means the line joining the planet and the sun sweeps equal area in equal intervals of time. Right? Understood? Means what? Again, if I try to explain, ये जो एरिया है ना, ये एरिया सेम होता है. अगर इसको ड्यूरेशन टी टाइम लगा और यहाँ कहीं भी मिडल में सपोज प्लैनेट, हमने यहाँ से काउंट करना स्टार्ट किया इस पॉइंट से पर्टिकुलर और इस पॉइंट पे एंड किया, तो यहाँ पे भी टी टाइम लगा प्लैनेट को यहाँ से यहाँ ट्रैवल करने के लिए. तो ये जो डिस्टेंस है ना यहाँ से यहाँ तक, ये जो लाइन है ना हमने ड्रॉ किया और इस सन को कंसिडर करते हुए, सो ये जो एरिया है ना, ये इस एरिया के बराबर ही होगा. दैट इज केपलर्स सेकंड लॉ. हियर ऑल्सो दैट ओनली इज गिवन. नाउ केपलर्स थर्ड लॉ. Third law has an equation. The square of its period of revolution around the sun is directly proportional to the cube of mean distance of a planet from the sun. Means what? Now planet travels like this, right? If planet started from here, it will move like this, right? So now period of revolution of planet. Now period of revolution, let's consider this total period. यहाँ से फिर घूम फिर कर यहाँ आने का जो टाइम है वो हम t कंसिडर करते हैं. सो स्क्वायर क्या बोला गया है फॉर्मूला लॉ में? स्क्वायर. सो टी स्क्वायर क्या होगा? द स्क्वायर ऑफ इट्स पीरियड ऑफ रिवॉल्यूशन अराउंड द सन. ये जो टाइम पीरियड है सन के अराउंड रिवॉल्व करने का, किसका? प्लैनेट का. इट इज़ डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल. मतलब ये जो टी है ना, ये हमने टी बोला, ये डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल है किसको? क्यूब ऑफ द मीन डिस्टेंस ऑफ अ प्लैनेट फ्रॉम द सन. क्यूब, बट किसका? मीन मतलब मीन मीन्स यू मे बी नोइंग इन मैथ्स एवरेज डिस्टेंस ऑफ अ प्लैनेट फ्रॉम द सन. मतलब ये रेडियस ही होगा. लाइक यहाँ से भी डिस्टेंस या कौन सा भी रेडियस ले लो. यहाँ पे अब 2 फोकल पॉइंट्स है ना, तो हम जहाँ पे सन है ना वही कंसिडर करेंगे. सो यहाँ से रेडियस लेंगे. ओके, सो रेडियस मतलब इन शॉर्ट व्हाट? टी स्क्वायर इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू द क्यूब ऑफ मीन डिस्टेंस. मीन्स इट विल बी आर क्यूब. रेडियस मीन डिस्टेंस बोला है ना, इसलिए हमने रेडियस ले लिया. ऑफ अ प्लैनेट फ्रॉम द सन. डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल मतलब इसका मतलब क्या है? इफ वैल्यू ऑफ टी इंक्रीज, आर विल ऑल्सो इंक्रीज. अगर टी कम हुआ तो आर भी कम होगा, लाइक दैट. सो अब हम तो पहुंच गए यहाँ तक. टी स्क्वायर इज डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू आर क्यूब. मतलब क्या? अगर हमें इक्वल टू के फॉर्म में लिखना हुआ तो व्हाट विल बी दैट? टी स्क्वायर इज इक्वल्स टू के आर क्यूब. के आर क्यूब होगा. के हमने कांस्टेंट ले लिया यहाँ पर, प्रोपोर्शनलिटी का कांस्टेंट. सो आर इज मल्टीप्लाइड हियर, आर क्यूब इज मल्टीप्लाइड हियर. सो व्हेन इट विल कम हियर इट विल गेट डिवाइडेड. सो देयरफॉर टी स्क्वायर अपॉन आर क्यूब विल बी इक्वल टू के. के मतलब क्या? कांस्टेंट है. सो दिस वैल्यू ऑफ टी स्क्वायर अपॉन आर क्यूब इज कांस्टेंट. केपलर ने इतना सब कुछ कैसे स्टडी कर लिया, राइट? मतलब ये लॉज तो हैट्स ऑफ टू दीज लॉज. सो उन्होंने कैसे स्टडी किया? ही रेगुलरली ऑब्जर्व द प्लैनेट्स, मोशन ऑफ द प्लैनेट्स, एंड thus he derived this law. Now let's study about ellipse. What is ellipse? We have studied that orbit of a planet is an ellipse with the sun at one of the foci. But इसमें ellipse का meaning क्या है? Ellipse means what? Curve obtained when a cone is cut by an inclined plane. Inclined means what? ऐसा slight, ऐसा सीधा नहीं, ये straight है. So this is slanting, slanting plane. अगर हम slanting plane को एक cone में insert करें, like how they did here, ऐसा अगर करेंगे तो ये जो शेप है ना, इसे हम इलिप्स कहते हैं. दिस इज एन इलिप्स. सो नाउ एज वी सॉ, इलिप्स हैज 2 सेंटर पॉइंट्स. उन सेंटर्स को हम फोसाई कहते हैं. प्लूरल फॉर्म में फोसाई कहते हैं. एंड सिंगुलर फोकल पॉइंट्स कहते हैं इन्हें. ये फोकल पॉइंट 2 होते हैं, यहाँ F1 एंड यहाँ F2. सो नाउ हमें अब इलिप्स की एक और नई प्रॉपर्टी सीखनी है. व्हाट इज दैट प्रॉपर्टी? See, now here we have taken points on the surface, on the curved surface of ellipse. See, here A is there, here B is there, and here C is there. So now distance AF plus distance AF1 plus distance AF2 is same as that of distance BF1 plus BF2, which is also same as distance CF1 and CF2. See, here it is given. This is a unique property of an ellipse. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel.